Alrighty, guys, we're back for Abzan Roadwatcher, and this is a Dragonstorm Standard brew, and I'm Redcat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. But first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. Of course, we have all four Roadwatchers. It's a 4-mana 3/3 rockin' Abzan colors up there. When this creature enters, if you cast it, mill 4 cards. When you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so we have to have some pretty powerful 3-drops for Roadwatcher to bring back. Like, how about all 4 Preacher of the Schism? That ought to do the thing, huh? How about 3 Glissa Sunslayer? Okay. How about 3 Severance Priest? This is a 3-mana, 3/3 Rockin' Death Touch and Abzan colors up there. When this creature enters, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, exile that card. Okay, what's the downside, right? Well, when this creature leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX white creature token, where X is the mana value of the exiled card. That's interesting. They don't get the exiled card back to their hand. Yeah, we'll see how much this actually does today. Not the only way to disrupt the opponent's hand. We actually have all 4 Deep-Cavern Bats making the cut too. Also not a terrible card to potentially bring back with the Roadwatcher, right? A Roadwatcher isn't the only way to actually stock up our graveyard. We have all 4 Overlord of the Balemurk, which we got to do some rearranging because of the impending cost of just 1 and a black. Also, Quag Feast being our choice spot removal is another way to stock up our graveyard. All 4 of them, hopefully it does the thing nicely. Bitter Triumph is our other spot removal, just a couple of them, but yeah, when you discard a card, maybe you discard one of your 3-drops to bring back with the Roadwatcher eventually. Oh, also Seed of Hope is another way to plug extra things into the grave. A little bit of life gain also goes a long way, I suppose. How about all 4 Llanowar Elves trying to ramp us into our 3-drops? Now, 3 color mana bases are rough, dude, so it might not be incredibly common to go turn 1 Llanowar Elves into a turn 2 Severance Priest because your mana has to line up perfectly. But I'd say it is pretty common to go turn 1 Llanowar Elves into a turn 2 Preacher of the Schism, which is pretty powerful, dude. Now, Roadwatcher isn't the only card helping us reanimate. We also have a top-end Hero of the Dunes making the cut as a 1-of, and also a couple No One Left Behind, which I think will do the thing nicely in here. Okay, the mana base. We'll talk more about the mana base in the final thoughts. Hopefully I landed on something pretty good. And then over in the honorable mentions, Skirmish Rhino. Almost made the cut, but since we're not doing the whole pixie blinking thing, I think, I don't know. I mean, Skirmish Rhino could still be a pretty good 3-drop in here, huh? Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be pretty decent if the mana lines up. If the mana base doesn't punish us for having 3 colors in it, right? Like, okay, Fabled Passage can grab the green source. We keep this, right? We totally keep this. We don't have the turn 1 Llanowar Elves, but does that matter? Yeah, we want to grab the green source as soon as possible, even though, yeah, no, this makes sense, because now we have Courtyard 2 turns in a row, which will lead us into the Severance Priest nicely. Non-Vermin, they got some self-mill over there. Oh, Roadwatcher, I like seeing that. Okay, Courtyard. Get the Llanowar Elves down. So even if Llanowar Elves dies, we still have our turn 3, but now we do... If Llanowar Elf survives, we have Roadwatcher in hand too, so that's excellent business. Nothing in the grave to bring back yet, though. Okay, up the Beanstalk. We do not accept that trade, so they can cheese the 1 through. Concealed Courtyard, more mana isn't great, so we're milling 4. There's a good chance of hitting one of our 3-drops, right? We got 2 3-drops in hand. Another 8 in the list. 50 cards. We're going 4 cards deep. Yeah, never mind. We probably just play one of our 3 mana cards and probably Severance Priest over the Preacher. We might as well swing with the Llanowar Elves too then. See what they got here. Oh, that's a lot of expensive things, but Up the Beanstalk's probably a decent one. Doesn't hit it. Overwhelming Remorse is 4 mana right now. Eventually that'll be able to pick up the Severance Priest. Okay, Up the Beanstalk, right? I'm pretty sure. And then we'll go for the swing. Get the opponent down to 18. Yeah, that's a lot of expensive cards for Severance Priest to hit, so... and unfortunately, the Overwhelming Remorse exiles instead of sending it to the grave to bring back with the Roadwatcher to continue to disrupt their hand. Alright. Overlord of the Balemurk. What are you doing over there? What's going on? Alright. Harvester. Looks like they just keep everything in the grave. Is that what they chose? Oh, we're definitely going deck thinning with the Fabled Passage because this is way too much mana now, right? Deck thinning before the Roadwatcher. And we'll grab another Forest, I guess. Yeah, based on our hand, right? Should be a good chance of seeing something with Roadwatcher, but Preacher the Schism's not terrible here too. If we miss... Oh, also, we don't want to forget we can hit Deep-Cavern Bat too, get that Overwhelming Remorse. Well, Preacher the Schism was the only card we saw. So I guess they wouldn't mind trading into the Llanowar Elves, but we wouldn't mind that either. Yeah, they wouldn't mind these in the grave, would they? Oh well. Oh well, we swing. We got to get these chump blockers off the board, because how else are we going to swing into them? Pretty rough. That's pretty rough, guys. We milled 2 Roadwatchers, so now we only have 1 Roadwatcher remaining in the deck list. Looks like they only went trade into Vermin. Vermin into the Llanowar Elves, actually. Okay, they do draw. They have a 2-mana Marauder, and this is going to be a discard. We're going to discard the Plains. And then they also get another card draw, so the chance of them finding open mana and still having 2 lands is pretty good, I'd say. Also, they have a 1-mana Overwhelming Remorse, which they do on the Severance Priest. They get a 2/2 Spirit. Dude, we're in danger for real, man. I feel like we should have established the Preacher the Schism earlier, maybe? To try to keep up with the card advantage that Up the Beanstalk is giving them. I don't know. We'll see what we can pull off, because right now... Oh, No One Left Behind's pretty darn good. It's like I said, it's too bad the Severance Priest got exiled, because we would not mind peering into the opponent's hand again. Alright. Full swing. See what they do here. More mana off the top. Oh dear. How much mana do I have? I think we only have 24, and 24 makes a lot of sense when we have so many 3-drops. There's going to be a lot of turns where you want your 6th mana, or a lot of games. Alright. I guess that's good to go, right? And then they go -1 onto the Preacher of the Schism. And then we bring back Preacher of the Schism. It's pretty cool. Oh, we do have 5 mana for the Roadwatcher, though. Oh, that's actually pretty neat. I was going to say, we bring back Preacher of the Schism, we still have 3 for the other one in hand. What? If we just spend 5 mana, bring back a Roadwatcher... Wasn't even considering the 5 mana option. Oh, Roadwatcher is when you cast it, guys. Oh, that's why my brain wasn't considering it. Oh no, that's pretty bad. But you know what? It's a 3/3, so that's... Oh no, I just read the card too, guys. Oh, send help, send help. So Preacher of the Schism would have been a much better play, because we could have played the other one from hand too. Oh no. Okay. Well, the good news is we were in danger regardless, bro. So, I mean, look at their turn, even with a couple Preacher Schisms on the board. Oh, I'm going to start with that Seed of Hope for sure. That's not terrible at all. Yeah. what we saw off of it was terrible though, huh? So we might as well play the Blooming Marsh over the swamp, although it doesn't really matter too much based on what we have on the board already. We might as well play the swamp and maybe make them think that we have something, since they know that the swamp exists here is the thing. All right, we keep it all back because there's menace on the swarm. Dude, I can't believe I reanimated the Roadwatcher. I can't believe it, man. Okay, they do go for an exile on the Roadwatcher. Another swarm, keeping their hand nice and stocked. I'll tell you what, that Severance Priest picking up that other up the beanstalk was huge. And if it wasn't an exile on that Severance Priest, dude, maybe we want 4 of these, but it really depends on the deck list too, though. Take 10 down to 6, get rid of these little 1/1s, or do we double block Swarm? They let us keep the Roadwatcher on the board. No, they don't. This also has Death Touch. Dude, we're in danger, huh? We'll just block the little dorky 1/1s over there. Take 10. Yeah, we're in so much danger that... Oh, wow. They also discard the last Harvester. At least the Preacher of the Schism survives, but it's more mana. Oh, no, guys. Well, I'll swing with the Preacher of the Schism because we get a 1/1, and it's the same amount of chump blockers. Either way, their menace gets through. And all they needed is one of the menacing Husk Burster. There we go. Yeah, 2 Preacher of the Schisms probably wouldn't have helped in this game, but I gotta watch out for that, man. Okay, we can chump the Souls of the Lost. Also, good game, opponent. It was good. We don't get to see Golgari self-mill too often. I'll tell you what, that up the beanstalk is terrifying. Keeping their hand stocked, and then after it's nice and stocked up, they just dump a whole bunch of cheap creatures on the board from the Swarm to the Marauder. And the Marauder is particularly terrifying too, because it's really easy to just have us, or if we're playing it, right? I don't know how to say it. Have the opponent discard a card, and then you draw a card off the Marauder. Yeah, Marauder's good, man. I like that. And then it's easy to fly over a bunch of chump blockers, too, with the Marauder. But then the Swarm also having Menace is no joke. Keeping it. I like it. It's good. It's early game. It's ready. Disrupting the opponent's hand 2 turns in a row here is also no joke. Let me give a little look-see here. Elspeth Smite, Get Lost, Lightning Helix. Ew. Ew, opponent. Gross. What do I grab? Lightning Helix probably, right? We force a Get Lost, then at least we get map tokens, then they get the Helix back, then Helix pops the Severance Priest. So maybe they don't turn to Get Lost. The important thing is we don't want the Severance Priest to get exiled. We'd want it in the grave to be able to bring back with the Roadwatcher. That's the important thing. So they could pop it on the stack, but that's not necessarily the best idea. So they do give us the option to actually get rid of the Get Lost, and they're 1 turn from the Beza. Beza's not too bad. It's got to be the Get Lost. It's got to be. We just can't swing with anything because of the Elspeth Smite. So no attacks. Although getting some removal out of their hand could be pretty good. Oh, another Severance Priest is really good. Yeah, we got to save this Roadwatcher for actually having stuff in the grave. It's a little bit awkward, but we definitely go right into the other Severance Priest. It's more mana for the opponent. I guess we let them have the Beza. so we can start attacking. But it's going to be all too easy for them to find removal. I don't know. I have no idea. Because, yeah, Bez is good. They get a couple fishies. They won't get card draw, because they'll also still have 3 cards in their hand. They do go up to 20, though. Yeah, Bez is good. It's just, well, I don't know. I don't know what's worth it there, honestly. And we have to remember that a trade into the Severance Priest also gives them whatever's underneath. As a spirit, of course, right? But so we can swing in the air, keep the Severance Priest around. Creature of the Schism's probably the play for the turn. I'm really hoping they don't find a Sunfall. Or, I guess... Oh. Yeah, no, I should have... Okay, well now I'm going to stay on task and wait for next turn, and we're just going to get the Preacher of the Schism down. But I should have went Overlord, right? Impending, and then we still would have had 2 open for the Quag Feast, and then we could have popped the Beza full swung, and they could have chumped the 3/3s. That would have just tempted them even further into the board wipe if they found it, but I'm pretty sure Preacher of the Schism also tempts them into the board wipe as well. They do go for the swing. I feel like they might have top decked that board wipe, guys. So I'm just going to take the trade while we have it. Just, I mean, it's not going to be a one-sided board wipe, though. Yeah, we should block. We totally should block, but we shouldn't block with the Severance Priest. Just in case they actually did miss the board wipe. But I feel like they didn't. So, it's another Beza. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, if we knew they had the board wipe, blocking with the Severance Priest would make the most sense, because they'd get a spirit, and then they'd pick up the spirit with the board wipe. Yeah, so another Quag Feast here is actually pretty good too. Because now we can pop one of the 1/1s, but we should save those for more removal. So start with Overlord. Okay. Yeah, definitely grab one back. Totally fine. Quag Feast. Pop the Beza. Milling more mana, I'm not mad about that. Now they got the chump blocks for the Severance Priests, which they probably should do depending on what their deck is rocking. They take the damage. I don't know exactly why they would want to keep the fishies on the board. Temporary Lockdown picks up the fishies anyway, so they must have top decked that, right? Other words, they would have blocked with them. But now they do have Lightning Helix to pop a Severance Priest. They don't get the Get Lost back, which is so good, guys. They do get a 2/2, though. All right. Yeah, that was a good turn, opponent. Right. Roadwatcher before combat, even though they only have Mirex, I guess. Still good practice. Ooh. Sunslayer is pretty good, but I think we just want to peer into their hand. Stop whatever's in there. I'll grab the Erebras Forge. Totally fine. Let's hope they don't top deck a Sunfall. Yeah, Sunslayer would be pretty good too. Would have been good to be able to pop the lockdown. But we also have another Roadwatcher when it comes to... And another Roadwatcher. Holy cow. Alright, full swing. Guys, I don't think we want to play anything. They go Lightning Helix onto Severance Priest. Okay, now we want to play some stuff. Because they have some pretty good blocks here. The 3/3 into the Severance Priest. And they could chump, but they decide not to. Which tells me, I guess they're keeping their tokens around in case they top deck a Caretaker's Talent, right? That does make sense. Roadwatcher. And let's grab... They're out of cards in hand. I guess the Sunslayer this time around, right? The Preacher of the Schism's pretty good too, but... Looks like they're going to generate the Murex token. Yeah, this is very much a Caretaker's Talent build, which I'm assuming is why they're keeping these extra tokens around. That's why they kept the fishies around, I suppose. They still could have chumped with one, though, so maybe I'm wrong. And then that temporary lockdown must have been the top deck. Okay, more Murex. They got 2 chump blockers. I think I'm still going to save the Feast for something better. We'll let them chump for the turn. The Murex token, of course, does not chump. They could double block a Roadwatcher, which would be fine because at least we'd get 6 through. This Overlord's going to power up in no time. They do go for the double block. All right. I suppose we'll destroy target enchantment over the card drop because we get the Deep-Cavern Bat back. They have nothing in hand, but it's a creature, which I think matters. All right. Speaking of a creature, do we play? I guess we'll play Preacher of the Schism. I'm still waiting for that Sunfall, though. The top deck Sunfall, at least Overlord would power up at the end of our next turn, and we still have we still have a lot of value. Okay, that's actually a lot of Murex tokens. Yeah, being able to just take those cards out of the game with the Severance Priest is pretty wild, right? I'll go for the block, but I'll keep the Deep-Cavern Bat around. Getting 2 poison is fine. See what they got here. Top deck Elspeth Smite. No, Lightning Helix. More life gain. They do take Creature of the Schism out. Okay. No One Left Behind is pretty decent too, isn't it? But again, yeah, well, we'll start with the card draw on the Glissa. Yep, totally fine. Okay, so we can play the land. I'm pretty sure we don't play anything, guys. It's a little weird because we don't have any instant speed things, but I still like... We just have to anticipate the opponent drawing what they need eventually. And they've drawn all right so far. The triple Lightning Helix was really good. Yeah, but when they do find the Sunfall... Okay, good game, opponent. Nice. Okay, if they had found the Sunfall, we'd want ways to restock the board as fast as possible, and it wouldn't have been that fast, honestly. It would have started with a Roadwatcher, grab a 3-back, but then next turn we'd still have more with the 5 mana, especially Preacher of the Schism and No One Left Behind for just 2 mana. So we would have had a couple turns of actually restocking the board, which makes a lot of sense. Cool. That was nice. A lot of value. All right. While I have you here in the middle of the video, guys, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link, as well as that Patreon link, too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And then also, guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you. All right, we keep this. Now, the question is, I mean, we go Llanowar Elves because there's a chance of seeing an untapped land off the top, right? So, it's more tapped land, but that's fine. We still go Llanowar Elves. There's still a chance of seeing an untapped land off the top. All of our fast early land that's packed in here, or a swamp, would be really, really good. Llanowar Elves not going to survive anyways, huh? That's a Torch the Tower. That's a Torch the Tower that's not hitting an important creature, though. I stand by the play. Oh, they missed mana. Oh, Llanowar Elves, hi. Are you also going to get picked up, Llanowar Elves? Because it would definitely be preferable that you don't get picked up here, because we still only have tapped lands for next turn. That being said, we will have the impending on the Overlord. Going to be Might of the Meek draw card. Yeah, they're looking for the mana. They go Burst Lightning before we can use the Llanowar Elf ramp. And Citadel. Overlord. They kept a one mountain hand, guys. It's risky. It's risky. Oh, another Roadwatcher. I like it. See if they find that mountain. They do find the mountain. Let's go. All right, it's a steel cutter build. This is going to be a swamp. Mill 4, and if we miss, we still bring back a Llanowar Elves, which I wouldn't be mad about. Because maybe the Elves would survive, giving us our 5th for the Overlord next turn. We don't miss. That's a Severance Priest. All right, let's see what they have here. Oh, it's Is It as well, guys. Wow. All right, well, we should take the other Corey Steelcutter for sure. Good game, opponent. Yeah, they missed mana, what, 2 turns in a row. Then they found it. But we had too much time for setup there, for sure. For sure. And then finding out that they were Is It Corey Steelcutter instead of just like mono red or something. That was a very risky hand. So we got a little lucky there. That they kept such a risky hand. All right. Potentially the last game of the evening here. Let's see what we can get done. Feels good, man. I like it. Ooh, very risky hand. I don't know. I don't know if we can keep this, guys. We do go first, which means we might not be up against hyper aggro. Grab a black source on the Fable. Deep-Cavern Bat. Couple turns until we find a third. We'll try it. We'll try it. I'm just going to pop the Fabled Passage now, guys, instead of holding the opponent up their entire turn. Because usually it doesn't matter. He's a tap land. We do find our third, which is excellent news, guys. Now we just need the white source. Okay. Right, so Overwhelming Remorse, I guess? Makes the most sense there. It's still... They're still far from it, but they... I don't know. I don't know, that still makes the most sense to me, so... Alright, Sunslayer's pretty darn good. First Strike Death Touch is just no joke. That's what we play. See if they found some spot removal, because Golgari knows how to find spot removal, dude. Alright. Nice. But it does go to the grave, and it has that renew ability. Avenger. Oh, okay. So they don't mind having creatures in the grave regardless. The Feast does hit the Avenger here, which is probably worthwhile. They might block it, though, with the Sunslayer. We could try that first. Start with card draw. If they don't block it. They do let it go through. So, card draw. Oh, nice. Concealed Courtyard. It is a tap land, but that's good. That's our white source. Okay. We should pop the Avenger of the Fallen while we can. Overlord of the Balemurk in the grave now. Ah, speaking of which, they still got 2 cards that are unknown to us here. Hollow Marauder. Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay. A GG opponent. Wow, that's a little surprising, huh? I mean, I'll take the victory for sure. And we'll end on a high note. And we had a good setup. And we even got the mana that we needed. We actually got the Abzan colors. We were ready for Roadwatcher. Heck yeah, dude. End of video pack 2. It's a new one. Oh. And a Corey Mountain Monastery. I don't know how many of these I have now. That might be my 3rd or 4th one, honestly. I'm still trying to find a good home for that land. Abzan Roadwatcher. All right, this is cool, man. This is very nice. We have a lot of value 3-drops, Preacher the Schism and everything. Preacher the Schism didn't do as much today as I had anticipated, and that's partially my fault too, so let's not overlook that for sure. With 10 3-drops and 4 Deep-Cavern Bats, like pretty much 14 creatures that we don't mind hitting the grave to eventually bring back with Roadwatcher. Is that enough? Sometimes it didn't feel like it, but also we never really had trouble eventually getting creatures to the grave anyways. It mainly was like the beginning of the game where we didn't have a lot, or we had to wait an extra turn to play the Roadwatcher because we weren't guaranteeing that we were going to see a good creature off the mill. I think we're fine. Also, I really like the Quag Feast, even though it's sorcery speed, which definitely slows it down significantly. It's like so important to have instant speed sometimes when the opponents are playing hasty things like Slick Shot Show Off and stuff, but we still have a couple bitter triumphs, so at least we have a couple hasty things. And the Quag Feast also stocking up our grave just seems really important, so I think I like all 4 of these a lot, actually. And I do like the ramp on the Llanowar Elves. I'm just not 100% certain how important it actually is in here. It is nice to have more early creatures, whereas if we went up more Seed of Hopes or something, I don't know, it's even less creatures to bring back with Roadwatcher. And realistically, if you play Roadwatcher and only hit a Llanowar Elves, you're still not too mad about that, especially if you miss your 5th mana and the Llanowar Elf sticks around and then you have 5 mana for something else. Which in this deck list could be full-powered Overlord or Hero of the Dunes, which does something very similar to the Roadwatcher. If you look at Hero of the Dunes here for 5 mana, 3/2, it has Orzhov colors. When this creature enters, return target artifact or creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, funny enough, this one does not say when you cast it. So you could reanimate Hero of the Dunes with the No One Left Behind. Yeah, when it enters, return. Yeah. Anyways, creatures you control with mana value 3 or less also get +1/+0, which works really well with the Deep-Cavern Bat. I can actually see more Hero of the Dunes, and I'm pretty sure that the original suggested deck list had more Hero of the Dunes, and I can see why now after playing the deck list for sure. Actually, I could see dropping the Seed of Hope for the second Hero of the Dunes, and you probably wouldn't be too mad about that. Because the one of Seed of Hope isn't doing too much anyways. It's just like, it makes a little sense because you want a little bit more mill in here, but also there's probably enough. You could probably just go up that Hero of the Dunes and be pretty happy about it. That being said, I think the deck list performed well enough to not change anything. It was pretty decent, wasn't it? And the mana base, guys, we've got to talk about this. This is super important. So we are going like Golgari, right? And we got this heavy lean towards the black mana. Then we have green, and then we're like splashing white for Abzan creatures. We're splashing white for Roadwatcher, of course, which is worth the splash. That's the whole build around. And Severance Priest has a 3 of. I liked this a lot, dude. We got to keep our eye on this one for real. Also, I guess splashing white for Hero of the Dunes here on the top end. So if we're looking at it that way, then we got like this, we got to like make a Golgari mana base that also has that splash of white. But we're leaning so far into the black sources here, nearly 90% of the deck list has or needs swamp on the board. So that's significant. So if we take the basics and we split them like this, let's make some room here so we have some space for the lands, or distributing the lands. Now you'll notice I opted for all early black source lands. So we have all 4 courtyards, and this taps for white and a black. And then we have all 4 Blooming Marsh, also another early land that taps for black and a green. So we're kind of like they're starting to lean into the swamps. Now don't forget Citadel taps for all of them. So we can also say like, okay, that's even more swamps, right? But of course it taps for all of them. And then Fabled Passage being able to grab all 3 of them as well. And then we also have a 1 of Hushwood Verge as an extra green source when we need it, which I'm actually going to put the Citadel back with the Fabled Passage because we're counting these as mana fixing into all 3 colors, which is pretty good. 6 lands that are doing that is pretty darn good. So if we count like Hushwood Verge as just a green source at first, if you look at it that way, then all of a sudden you could like drop another forest or 2 to go up a couple Verge. That way we have the splash of plains a little easier. there's going to be so many moments too where you just see a couple Verge. Well, how often does this hold you up? Because if you go Fabled Passage after you have a couple of your basics already on the board and you see multiple Fabled Passage later on, are you going to run out of basics if you go out more Verge? That's tough to say. We might be able to have all 4 Verge in just one forest, but it's a little sketchy when you do that. When you go down that many basics and you have Fabled Passage. So if you do more Verge, then you're probably dropping Fable. And I don't want to drop Fable. Fable's a really good mana fixer, and after turn 4, or after whenever it comes time to be your 4th mana, it's just really, really good. Like ridiculously good. And then also the deck thinning happens to be very important too, especially when you're milling cards. You don't want to just mill a whole bunch of excess mana. So the deck thinning also makes a lot of sense on the Fable. So we don't want too many Verge because you still want enough basics, even if you have a whole bunch of basics in your opener. When you top deck Fabled Passage, you still want to be able to grab as many basics as possible. But I could still see a couple more Hushwood Verge for sure. But hopefully this split makes a lot of sense, right? Since we're leaning so heavy into the swamp, we need a lot of those early swamps, but then, of course, we need the other colors packed in too. Let's go ahead, put the deck list back to normal here for a second. Yeah, man, this is cool. And like I said, hopefully I landed on something in the mana base. Let me know down in the description. What have your mana bases been looking like? Have you been trying to get these Hushwood Verge to work well? Have you been leaning heavy into that early game because it's just so essential to have early game removal and setup, right? That's what I've been trying to do. And I've also been trying to find a really good balance with the Verge to the point where the Verge don't punish us. And I feel like I went a little bit in the opposite direction here, where I probably could have squeezed in a couple more Verge and been still successful while still having the Fabled Passage, but maybe not too. Like I said, it performed well enough to just not change anything. But mana bases have been pretty rough in the 3-color mana bases especially, because the tapped lands really do slow you down sometimes, and all it takes is one turn of being a little bit too slow, and the hyper-aggressive deck list will completely run you over. So finding a good balance with the Verge has been tricky, but also a little bit fun too. Like it is kind of fun to piece together complex mana bases for sure. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Did you enjoy the deck list? What does your Roadwatcher deck list look like? Did you go the Pixie route so that way you could blink these important ETB creatures like Severance Priest, and then also having other ETB creatures too? At that point, if you went the Pixie route, then your mana base definitely looks different, right? As you're leaning more into the white sources at that point. Either way, guys, if you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. Wait a minute. Did I talk enough about Preacher of the Schism? No, all I said was it didn't do as much today as I wanted it to do. Guys, could we drop a Preacher of the Schism for another important 3-drop? I think in the original suggested deck list, Surrak was in the original suggested deck list. This could be an interesting 3-drop for sure. If you're dropping Preacher of the Schism down to 3, going up a Surrak makes a little bit of sense because you're trading out Preacher of the Schism's card draw for potential card draw on the Surrak. But then also, guys, I don't know what it's called right now. Sentinel of the Nameless City was also in the original suggested deck list. This is also a pretty powerful 3-drop, man. 3 mana, 3/4 Vigilance. When this creature enters or attacks, create a map token. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I bet you'll find plenty of turns where you use that extra mana that you just have laying around onto the map token. So yeah, there was some other stuff in the original suggested deck list over on the Discord that I cut just to add things. And I kind of forget exactly what I added. It has been a second, I guess, since I looked at the original, so I apologize for that. Also, guys, how about putting it on the do not craft list? That's, yeah, dude, there's so much I forgot to talk about. I apologize, guys. Yeah, probably put it on the do not craft list, but that's just because, like, it's relatively expensive. Like, Preacher of the Schism, Sunslayer, Severance Priest, Roadwatcher are all rare. Overlord is mythic. Quag Feast is a rare too, and this is a piece of spot removal that's very specific for very specific deck lists, right? So, and then the mana base is just packed full of rares too. So yeah, put it on the do not craft list, but that doesn't mean that the deck list was terrible. It just means it's relatively expensive. So only put it together if you already have all the cards, or if you're barely crafting anything. Like if you had to craft like 1 or 2 things, at that point you might as well just trade something else in too, like depending on what it is. And then if you're crafting Roadwatcher, just be careful. Just know that this might not be the deck list that you want Roadwatcher in, and maybe it will actually be a little bit better in the Pixie version of the deck list or something like that. Or why not both at that point, right? You could totally rock both versions of the deck list if all you had to craft was the Roadwatcher. All right, guys, now actually enough rambling, huh? Again, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.